Hey, everybody. It is the Grim Gazette, issue 11. Issue 11, everyone. So happy to have you here. My name is T. You can call me T, TeeMonster, or Twitch Dad, because we are recording this live on Twitch every Tuesday. Starting at 6 p.m., I go live, and we film the Grim Gazette live, and I appreciate everybody that shows up with their questions concerning the paranormal, concerning weird news, concerning everything that we try to address here. And you can be a part of that as well. Again, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. here on Twitch. I represent Old Spirits Investigations, and OSI has a big weekend coming up. When this goes live on YouTube, we will be getting ready for the OSI weekend, which includes, I want to make sure I remember all this. Tonight, Friday night, of course, when this airs on YouTube. So Friday night, 9 p.m., which is going to be the official drop time for everything for Old Spirits Investigations. 9 p.m. Friday is part one of the Charleston, South Carolina investigation, and that is the launch of season 3 of Old Spirits. Following day, Saturday, live on YouTube and Twitch, we will be doing not one but 2 paranormal investigations. We will be at the Masonic Theater of Clifton Forge, Virginia, and then we're going to have an hour where we kind of recenter ourselves, take a few deep breaths, take care of ourselves, and then at 10 p.m. we're going to be doing an investigation of the C&O Train Museum, also in Clifton Forge, Virginia. That's 2 in one night, 2 locations in one night, and we're doing that for you all, live on Twitch and YouTube. Then Sunday, after we get back from Clifton Forge, I'm going to fire everything up on Twitch and YouTube, and we're going to do a post-mortem starting at 7 p.m. And that's where I turn it over all to you and say, I want to hear your feedback. I want you to know that I am ready to learn. I'm ready to grow. I want to know what we got right. I want to know what we got wrong. I want to know what we can do differently. Not just with the Old Spirit show, but also with our live investigations. What can we do differently? And that's all coming up this weekend at the filming of this Grim Gazette. Now, for those of you who do not know the Grim Gazette, if this is your first time, welcome on in. Glad you're here. We do weird news. We kick it off with weird news, just stuff that's just odd. And then we get into the paranormal, take a look at some stuff from paranormal TikTok, paranormal YouTube, if you will. And then we go into a deep dive. We go into some type of deep dive of something happening within the paranormal community. But right now is the weird news section. And with the eclipse happening, as it did, I thought this would be the perfect launch story for issue 11 of the Grim Gazette. Man getting vasectomy when earthquake hit, thought doctor was making a joke. Let's go, everybody, strap in. Here we go. Here we go. When the doctor said, "Is that an earthquake?" I still thought, he's just trying to lighten the mood. Justin Allen told HuffPo. Yep. Shaken, but not spermed. Oh, man. Let's go. That's a great opening line. Nicely done. Shaken, but not spermed. Justin Allen, a 33-year-old father of 2, from Horsham, Pennsylvania, got a whole lot of attention on social media Friday when he posted about his experience during an earthquake that hit the East Coast around 10:23 a.m. with a preliminary magnitude of 4.8, which, according to my wife from the Ring of Fire itself from New Zealand, she says that's a pretty decent shake. It's a pretty decent shake-up. But yeah, he posted about his experience during an earthquake that hit the East Coast around 10:23 with a preliminary magnitude of 4.8. And let's just say it struck while he was in the middle of a very delicate procedure. A f***ing earthquake happened in the middle of my vasectomy, he wrote on the platform formerly known as Twitter. Allen explained to HuffPo on Friday that he had a 10 a.m. appointment scheduled at a urology surgery center in Huntington Valley, and that it started out totally normal. I was thankful to have a surgeon that walked me through every single step of the procedure, Allen wrote. But about 10 minutes into the 20-minute surgery, the whole room started shaking. I love the fact that he's got thumbs up. We're doing this, baby, we're doing this. Alan reacted to the rare event like other East Coasters by reaching for a logical reason for the surreal situation. At first, I was wondering if we were close to a train station, or if there was something else that could be causing the room to shake like that, he said. Either way, I don't initially think it was an earthquake because I'd never really felt one before. Keep that in mind, everyone. Keep that in mind. But then his surgeon addressed the elephant in the room. Oh, hey now. Hopefully he was looking at his eyes and not in his crotch. When the doctor said, "Is that an earthquake?" I still thought it was a joke and that he was just trying to lighten the mood, Alan said. After a minute or two, when things settled, he resumed the procedure and we all laughed about how we would never forget where we were when this happened. Alan said the experience was so wild that he couldn't help but share it with others and decided to tweet about it the moment I got to my phone after the procedure had wrapped up. I definitely thought it would be something funny for my friends to laugh at, Alan said, and it blew up. Giggity. His wife, Bridget Allen, even snapped a few photos of her husband outside the facility and couldn't help but post them on the platform formerly known as Twitter as well. Justin Allen said the experience of going viral has been overwhelming and that he had to mute the responses to his posts, but he admitted that he's seen lots of hilarious reactions.
Mother Nature with the best D's nuts joke in human history.
Although the situation was definitely an odd one, he said he's happy that his little Alan, don't call it little, man, come on, that's just mean.
You better settle down over there. I'm going to come talk to you.
I know, right? Okay. It was an interesting experience for everyone, he told HuffPo. I'm glad everything turned out all right and we could all laugh about it. I mean, I give the doctor a lot of credit for keeping, steady hands and all that. Now, here's the funny thing though. An even more funny thing. Here's an even more funny thing. I totally get where he's talking about. You're not sure of what an earthquake is because you've never experienced it before. Because if you take a look at season 1 of Old Spirits, we have a holiday episode set in the lovely bed and breakfast of Dunlora. And at Dunlora, there are two things that kind of make Mineral famous. One of them is Dunlora. They get a lot of attention because of Dunlora, because it is a paranormal hotspot. It's pretty cool. The other thing that they are known for is they were the epicenter. Mineral, Virginia was the epicenter of an earthquake that happened in 2010, I believe it was. If it wasn't 2010, it was 2011. But I remember when it happened, because I'm sitting in my office, right? I'm sitting in August 2011. Thank you, Aurelius. Yeah, because I was sitting in my office. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I was sitting in my cubicle. They like to call it my office. It was a cubicle. I was in my cubicle, and we're just I'm in the zone doing some social media, writing up a blog post about identity theft protection and things like that. And I feel this rumble, this slow rumble, just kind of growing, right? Just kind of growing. And I thought, there must be I swear to God, Cat. And I feel this slow rumble, and it's just growing. Now, I knew because I was running around that time. I was an avid runner, and I knew that we had planes sometimes came in low because we were close to Dulles Airport, and that was my first reaction. I was like, oh, it must be a really low flying plane, and then it just started going longer. The rumble was going longer, and I said, okay, it's a really low flying plane and it's moving very slowly. And it's not only the rumble going long, it's starting to grow. First I felt it in the seat, and then I felt it in my back. And just as I feel it hit my shoulders, it then starts to subside. And I know it didn't last for more than a minute, but it felt like it lasted for at least 10. You know, that feeling. And I was like, was that what I thought it was? And the funniest part was after it had ended, after it was gone, and I turn and I see over my shoulder the VP of InfoSec, and I say to him, "Was that?" And he went, "Yeah." I mean, he was jazzed. And then suddenly you heard all this commotion going on, and then my phone rang, and it was Pip, and she said, "Didn't you tell me you guys don't get earthquakes around here?" Oh, she was mad at me. She was holding me personally responsible for the earthquake that happened in 2011. So yeah. Yeah. I know what it's like, because you don't you don't like want to, your brain is like, wait a minute, that's what an earthquake feels like. But I mean, you know, because when you think of earthquakes, when you think of really big earthquakes, you think about the earthquakes that like I know that there was an earthquake that hit Taiwan, you know, and the building is leaning on another building. It looks like something out of Cloverfield, right? And you know, and people think about that type of stuff. They also think about Hollywood and how they depict earthquakes. But really, a lot of earthquakes are, at least the ones that Pip was used to, were like the ones that hit Washington, D.C. in 2011. But one of the other reasons why we get more damage is because we don't have the kind of precautions built in. And yeah, you know, people like to make jokes about how the 2011 earthquake wasn't much. It did a lot of damage. But that's because the buildings in this area were just not, they're just not built to handle earthquakes of any kind. And it's pretty amazing that happened. And so close to the eclipse as well. I find that funny. All right, I picked this one. Not necessarily a weird news story, but I thought it was kind of interesting because we were talking about this on the last Grim Gazette. World's deepest fish caught on camera for first time by scientists. Over 27,000 feet below the surface. 27,000 feet below the surface. A massive research initiative to explore deep-sea creatures brought discoveries to light in the northern Pacific Ocean last year when scientists filmed and captured 3 fish at depths never before recorded. As part of a 10-year collaborative study, again, importance of collaboration, between the University of Western Australia and the Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology, that was funded by Caladan Oceanic. Okay, I gotta pause here. Caladan Oceanic. Anybody else picking up the Dune reference there? Anyone else picking up the Dune reference? Caladan Oceanic? Just throwing that out there. As part of a 10-year collaborative study between the University of Western Australia and the Tokyo University of Marine Science and Technology that was funded by Caladan Oceanic, scientists used baited robot cameras to film a young snailfish at about 8,300 meters below the surface. The Australian University announced on Monday. The school deemed the record-breaking discovery the world's deepest fish. And there's your bait. The milestone was announced after a 2-month expedition that specifically focused on the deep-sea fish populations in 3 trenches located near Japan. This is his way of making sure that I don't forget about the treats and the pumpkin. The Japan Izu, Ogasawara, and Ryukyu trenches stretch 8,000 meters, 9,300 meters, and 7,300 meters respectively, below the surface of the northern Pacific. So that's what they look like. Snailfish are tadpole-like and can only grow up to about 12 inches. They are found in oceans across the world, with some species inhabiting relatively shallow waters. The snailfish discovered 8,300 meters down, which is more than 27,000 feet or 5 miles deep. I'm going to put this out there. That's 2 miles deeper than the Titanic. Belongs to an unknown species, scientists said. They found and filmed the fish last September in the Isu Ogasawara Trench of south of Japan. And if I'm butchering that, I apologize. I apologize, everyone. Setting a world record for the deepest fish ever recorded on video. The footage was released on Sunday and shows the snailfish, which scientists describe as a very small juvenile swimming on its own just above the ocean floor. This particular type of snailfish belongs to the Pseudoliparis family, and has previously been seen about 7,700 meters below the surface of the ocean in 2008, according to the University of Western Australia. I really don't want to know what that's an ad for. I really don't. I'm just going to keep moving on. Video footage released over the weekend also shows 2 snailfish found and caught during the same research expedition at 8,022 meters down in another deep trench off Japan. The pair of fish captured in traps marked scientists' deepest catch on record. The Japanese trenches were incredible places to explore. They are so rich in life, even all the way at the bottom, said Alan Jameson, a professor at the University of Western Australia, who led the expedition, in a statement. We have spent over 15 years researching these deep snail fish, Jameson added. There's so much more to them than simply the depth. But the maximum depth they can survive is truly astonishing. The professor said that scientists found snailfish at increasingly deeper depths, just creeping over that 8,000 meter mark in 8,000 meters? 8,000 meter mark in fewer and fewer numbers in other areas like the Mariana Trench, the world's deepest, which is in the western Pacific Ocean closer to Guam. But Jameson noted that the population explored around Japan was especially abundant. The real take-home message for me is not necessarily they are living at 8,336 meters, said Jameson, but rather we have enough information on the environment to have predicted that these trenches would be where the deepest fish would be. In fact, until this expedition, no one had ever seen nor collected a single fish from this entire trench. It is a little icky to think that they are fishing for these creatures just so they can dissect them, but that's a pretty amazing feat right there. That's just stunning. And when you think about just, this is literally 5 miles down, 5 miles under the ocean. And that is just astounding to me. There's a whole different world down there. There's just a whole different world down there. That's pretty neat. Yeah, well, Cammy, sometimes you have to do some pretty rough things for science, you know. But how would they bring it to the surface and dissect it above water? Wouldn't the body swell or something from lack of pressure? They have, I'm assuming they have pressurized capsules or something along those lines. I'm assuming. But the other thing too is that it's not like you hit a button and bam, they go up. You know, it takes a long time. It takes a long time for them to come up from a dive like that. That's pretty neat, though. It's pretty neat. But I wanted to make sure that I shared that story because we've been talking about the world underwater, and I just thought that was a neat callback to that. Now, not necessarily weird news, but more like nerdy news, and I thought this was interesting. Comic featuring Superman's debut sells for a record-breaking $6 million. How about that? How about that, everybody? Action Comics #1 10 cents. 10 cents. I bought a recent episode of Hawk Girl. Friend of mine, Jadzia Axelrod, who I have collaborated with and is a lovely individual. She wrote it. She wrote this episode of Hawk Girl. And that one issue, $15. $15. But yes, 6 million. Copy of the comic book that introduced Superman to the world became the world's most expensive comic book when it fetched $6 million at auction. Heritage Auction said the copy of Action Comics #1, the 1938 comic book featuring the first appearance of Superman, attracted a record-breaking high bid of $6 million at Thursday's auction. The comic book, featuring the iconic Man of Steel on its cover, was inspected by collectible grading service CGC and given a grade of very fine, 8.5, making it the third highest graded copy of Action Comics #1 known to still exist. CGC said only 100 copies of the comic are believed to still exist, and the service only graded 78 copies over the years. The comic was published by National Allied Publications, the predecessor to the modern-day DC Comics. The previous record for the most expensive comic book was a copy of Superman #1 that sold privately for $5.3 million in 2022. The previous most expensive comic book sold at auction was a CGC near mint 9.6 copy of Amazing Fantasy #15, the first appearance of Spider-Man, which sold for $3.6 million in September 2021. The thing is, everybody, I honestly, shovel. I thought Superman would actually go for more. I honestly thought that they'd already sold Action Comics for $10 million, but I could be wrong. My initial, for some reason, I was totally convinced that Superman #1 Action Comics had sold for a lot more. But you know what? 6 million, it's still a record, and it's still, the Man of Steel himself, Cal. My boy Cal, aka Superman, aka Clark Kent. Which brings me to the poll that I am launching right now, and I'm even allowing for additional votes. Who is your favorite on-screen Superman? And that is the poll. If you don't see the poll, you can refresh it. But your favorite on-screen Superman, not only can you vote early, but you can vote often. And yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to pop in your thoughts about that. But Henry. Yeah, Tyler was great, man. Tyler was great. I really did like his Superman. I liked his Superman a lot. But, I as much as Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice was a stinking piece of poo, as much as I enjoyed the Snyder cut of the Justice League, Henry Cavill, baby, my heart belongs to Man of Steel. I really do think that, as much as Zack Snyder may or may not want to admit it, it's the best film he's ever made. Maybe next to Watchmen, which I don't think Watchmen gets enough love. I freaking love Watchmen, and I will die on that hill. I will die on that hill. Henry Tyler, there you go. Well, you notice who I omitted from the list. I don't know if anybody saw who I omitted from the list. I'm pretty much done with that chowderhead. Yeah. And the sad thing is he also did no, come on. Nicolas Cage. I don't think I would have liked Nicolas Cage's Superman either. I don't think I would have enjoyed it either. But I just it's yeah. I mean, I loved Henry Cavill. I still think Henry Cavill is an incredible Superman. But man, Christopher Reeve back in the day. Oh God. He's just so damn wholesome. I loved it. Anyway, let's move on, everybody. Let's move on. So this next story, actually, the first thing I saw it, I said, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be on the Grim Gazette under Weird News. Watch California thief disguised as a garbage bag steal package in doorbell cam footage. And when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was, in fact, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, when you can possess a trash bag. Video shows thief crouched low to the ground with their body hidden inside the garbage bag, nothing but feet sticking out of the bottom. The homeowner said he's not going to report the theft. Okay. Here it is. Here it is, everybody. That is dedication to your craft. I really hope whatever they're stealing, it is effing worth it. With the increasing popularity of doorbell cameras and home security systems, getting away with package theft is harder than ever. You'd think the high likelihood of getting caught on camera would deter porch pirates from snagging packages that don't belong to them. There's another option, however, according to one thief out in California: wearing a disguise. Does the disguise need to be elaborate and clever? Not according to this porch pirate. The package thief was caught on camera in Sacramento late last month, attempting to nab a package from the home of Omar and Gabrielle Munoz. Instead of simply walking up to the porch, the thief appears to go full Ace Ventura, disguising themselves as a simple black garbage bag. Footage captured by a Munzos door camera shows the thief crouched low to the ground with their body hidden inside the garbage bag. Nothing but feet sticking out of the bottom, the perps slowly made their way up to the property's front sidewalk, shuffling along in an apparent attempt to look like, well, a pile of garbage. Making their way to the front porch, the thief-turned sentient garbage bag hovers over the small package, snatches it up, and pulls it inside of the bag. Still crouched with sneakers sticking out of the bottom, the perp shuffles back down the sidewalk, camera following them all the way. Munoz told Storyful that he was confused after getting a notification the package had been delivered, but returning home to find it gone. At first, I was kind of angry, but when I saw the video again, I was laughing because people these days have a lot of creativity. Munoz told KXTV TV. He told the outlet he did not report the theft as he figured local police have more important things to do. So, yeah, that. I mean, wow. Wow, everybody. It's just... I mean, you must really want that package. You must really want that package. Actually, my Ring camera has been pretty freaking good. And has caught quite a bit on camera. So, yeah. I mean, I haven't had any porch pirates. Fortunately, I guess I'm living a good life and I'm in the right neighborhood, but we haven't had too many issues with that sort of thing. But wow. No, it wouldn't be the owner. I don't think the owner would go to that length just to get a little bit of screen cred. That would be a bit much. So, here's how we're wrapping up our weird news segment, and my God, did this make me smile. Reported armed man at Scottish train station was a Star Wars stormtrooper. Let's go, everybody. The nerds are finally getting their due. I mean, I don't know why they'd be worried about hello there. I don't know why they'd be saying that the guy is armed and dangerous. I mean, he's a stormtrooper, which means he can't shoot. But here we go. Police in Scotland said a reported armed man who led to a train returning to a station turned out to be a Star Wars cosplayer on his way to a comic book convention. This man, known as the Grampian Stormtrooper on social media, was dressed in his Imperial Stormtrooper costume with a Scottish twist, a kilt, when he boarded the ScotRail train to Dundee at the Aberdeen train station. The train returned to the station shortly after departing, and the man was approached by a guard who escorted him to waiting police officers. The cosplayer... I knew that Scottish accent's gonna come in tricky. The cosplayer wrote on Facebook that he was met by 2 firearms officers, 3 police Scotland, 2 British Transport Police, and had to chat to them all in an office. The man learned that he had been reported for carrying a firearm on the train, and he explained to people that his blaster was a plastic prop. Yeah, more on that in a second. Police took the man home so he could get a bag for his blaster, so as not to alarm his fellow train passengers again. He said he was also asked not to wear his full stormtrooper armor on the train. The man who was headed to decon at the Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design said it was the first time in 10 years of cosplaying that he has been approached by the police. A British Transport Police spokesperson confirmed the incident in a statement issued to Aberdeen Live. Officers received reports of a man with a firearm entering Aberdeen Station just before 9 a.m. on Saturday, April 6th, the representative said. Officers attended alongside colleagues from Police Scotland, and it was determined it was a false alarm. Hello there. So, another reason why I'm sharing this, apart from the fact that it's nerdy as hell, and, you know, God love him, he killed it. Oh my God. I saw what you did there. I still remember though. Yeah, I had a. So I was trying to. I was checking something in to the. I just gone to what I thought was my first and only trip ever to New Zealand. Silly me, but I was bringing back from the Weta Cave a replica of one of Dr. Gordbort's laser pistols. One of his laser pistols from the steampunk world of Dr. Gordbort. And when I was checking it in, the woman looked at the box and said, "What is that?" And I said, "Well, it's a science fiction laser gun from Weta Cave." And she looked at me and she was absolutely serious when she said to me, "Is it real?" I made it pretty clear that it was a science fiction laser pistol from the Weta Cave. And this is somebody that was native to New Zealand. If this woman did not know who Weta was, I'm sorry, but she's living in a cave on her own as well. Oh, man. I do. I love people. I love me some people. Okay. So Pip has sent me some tickety talks to look at. So I think it's now time we broke the seal on tickety talk. We're going into a realm of scum and villainy that is tickety talks.
No, because I'm freaking the fuck out, guys. So I
don't know what to expect.
My friend, right? And
okay. And like I said, I don't know what to expect from this because this is Pip at her best. I've cut off the music because now we are entering a hive of scum and villainy. We are entering TikTok. Hello there. And here we go. First entry of the night. Let's see what this guy's got for us.
no, because I'm freaking the fuck out, guys. So I just Snapchatted my friend, right? And I walked through, and now the fucking alarm's going off. So I was walking through here, and whenever you get right here, you can see something fucking behind me. And I like watched it. I did like a playback before I sent it to him, right? And
I do want to preface this by saying I came upstairs to, like tell Pip I was going live, and I could see that she was watching some stuff on the Tickety Talks, and she just behind me as I'm fixing this drink, she says, "Dear Lord," and I'm like, "Oh boy, she's gonna send me some real juicy ones." I'm waiting to see. This is the problem, I think, chat. This is the problem of TikTok wanting longer clips, because this clip is 3.5 minutes, and I haven't even hit the minute mark yet. But boy, am I feeling it right now. I am feeling it. So here we go.
Like there was like there was, and these lights were off. Yeah.
This is the snap I sent him. Okay.
I just got to work, and I feel like, like all day today, I felt bad. Honestly, it's less like a little bit. I felt bad, and I don't know. I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but like I'm constantly just like nauseous, and I don't really know why. Like I have tried to like take.
All right. Let's break this down and explain exactly why this guy should get a freaking Oscar for his performance. First off,
Bad.
Look at his eyes.
And
Look at his eyes.
I don't know.
Keep a look at his eyes.
Like I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but like I'm constantly just like nauseous, and I don't really know
Come on.
why. Like I have.
Yeah. Okay. If you look at his eyes, he looks right at it.
Constantly just like nauseous,
That's where it is.
and I don't really know why. Like I have tried.
He looked
to,
right at it.
Like
So if he were to say it wasn't there, I'm like, no, dude. Look, you're walking along. You're whinging about whatever, and it is right there. It is right there. His eyes look right at it, and there it is. So yeah, it's really kind of cute. It's really cute. It's perfect for creepypasta. Do I want to know how many views this this moron has gotten? Oh my God. You're in the Appalachian Mountains. All I can do is pray for you. You ain't ever catching me in the Appalachian Mountains. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That one is very cute. That one is very cute. It is fake as hell, but it's very cute. I was reading some of the comments, and quite honestly, yeah, trust me, I know. I went to, the Appalachians, kind of work in with the Blue Ridge Mountains. So, potato, we're all in them kind of, Appalachia, we're in you. But, the Grim Reaper. What I'm trying to figure out is if he has suspended something there, or if it's a friend of his. I mean, yeah, right there. He would have, if this thing was really there, he would have seen it. It's right in his line of sight. And let me just see here. Let me just back up a bit.
I don't know. I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but like I'm constantly just like nauseous, and I don't really know why. Like I have tried to like.
Also, you'll notice in the audio, there's a lot of at least from what it sounds like that they have dropped in a few sound effects.
I just got to work.
This is also one of the biggest restaurants I think I've ever seen. He must be working in a Minotaur's labyrinth, because I'm completely disoriented at where he is or what this is all about. Also, the most common question I would ask: you just got to work. Why are all the lights off? I mean, are you working an overnight shift? Are you guys doing overnight deliveries? Okay, fine. Then, you know, if it's a 24-hour establishment you're at, then okay. But you would at least have the lights on. There's just so many things wrong with this.
I feel like all day today, I felt bad. Honestly, it's less.
You also hear in the background there are some whispers that are dropped in.
I feel like all day today, I felt bad. Honestly, it's less like a little bit. I felt bad, and I don't know. I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but like I'm constantly just like nauseous, and I don't really know why.
It's kind of cute.
Have tried to like.
There you go. So we got 3 EVPs already. While he's
medicine for it.
Whinging.
But
jeez, I can't. No. Okay. Thank you for playing, sir. And we're not even halfway done. We're not even halfway done. No. Sorry. We're moving on. Oh, dear. Okay. Dustin, I salute you. Well done. Well done, sir. Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. There you go. Now let's see this one. Oh, another Appalachian Mountains. Okay, and this one is 4.5 minutes. All right, let's see what we got here. The paranormal chic. Okay.
The following 2 videos are from a witness who lives in the Appalachian Mountains.
Okay. First off, this intro, that's pretty smoking hot. I'm going to just say it. That is pretty smoking hot.
The following 2 videos are from a witness
that's pretty
who
slick.
Lives in the Appalachian Mountains. He records in the first video what sounds like horrifying screams from an unidentified creature. He has no idea what it is. So he decides to put out some cell phones and attempt to capture this creature a couple of days later. What he records is something truly terrifying. The question, though, is what is this creature? Is it a Wendigo? A rake? Some other supernatural creature? Or is this a hoax? It's interesting to note that the Appalachian Mountains were once a part of the Scottish Highlands, part of the Central Pangea mountain range. With all the folklore myths coming out of the Scottish Highlands, makes you wonder, is that why our Appalachian Mountains are full of paranormal activity? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
Nope. Nope. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, get that. Get the out. It is the same guy, Pip. I don't know how you did that, but it's the same guy. Sans nose ring, different hairstyle, but it's the same freaking guy. Okay, first off, let's talk about that. Let's seriously talk about that. What she's talking about is that the Appalachians were once upon a time part of the Scottish Highlands and et cetera, et cetera. that is not necessarily why the Appalachians are just the mountains in general, or any of this area is weird or has a lot of paranormal activity to it. This is old land. That's the best way to describe it. It is old land. And before white settlers, there were the indigenous peoples, right? And there's just a lot of history that these mountains have. And in the Appalachians, you've got a lot of history, a lot of bloody history actually going on. I'm sure secondhand can attest the amount of bloodshed just in the coal industry. No, you don't. Just in the history of the coal barons and the way they would just victimize people. Anyway, okay. Let me back up, and so we're talking about the Appalachia Mountains. We're talking about the mountains, okay? They're old. It's old land. There's a lot of stuff, and I mean, part of the scary, eerie, unsettling mystique of, say, the Blair Witch Project, for example. When you start getting into the wilderness, it's freaky. It's like super freaky. Okay. There you go. Appalachian. Are you happy now? Appalachian. I understand secondhand. Thank you. I have been raised where it was the Appalachia Mountains, okay, or Appalachia, but not Appalachia. Welcome to West Virginia. There we go. So anyway, where I'm getting at is that any of this mountainous area, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of bloody history, and with it, you're going to get a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative juju. When you watch the TWA episode, you'll understand that when we go back at night, there's just a lot of freaky stuff happening when Phil and I are out there. But yes, this is the same guy, Pip. You managed to pick two different versions, and it's the same guy. Now, okay. The thing about the Wendigo, the Rake, which I just learned about, ironically. Yeah, and I can't wait to hear this screaming in the woods. Let's have a listen to the screaming in the woods from this kind gentleman who apparently is, as we're figuring out, he is a magnet for paranormal activity. I will laugh if he's in the same freaking restaurant.
I just woke up and everybody's asleep in the house and stuff, you know. And someone is screaming outside.
I don't think I can watch this guy. I'm sorry. I cannot take this guy seriously. I just can't. Yeah. So here's something else to know, though, about wildlife. You have foxes. You have coyotes. You have, I don't believe that wolves are out in the Tennessee area, but they're definitely coyotes. They're definitely out there. And if you're hearing something scream, I don't know if going to the front porch is the best idea. Maybe if you're like upstairs and, if he's the only one, this is the reason why I am not big on people doing solo investigations with OSI. I prefer it that there is always somebody there to corroborate with you and also to make sure you've got somebody's back. But this guy... I mean, it's creepy, but okay. Moving on. This guy's making the rounds on the Tickety Talks, though. I mean, the fact that Pip got the same guy twice. I mean, I'm sure it gets worse, but let me guess. Something comes creeping around the car or something along that. Does that happen? Does that happen, baby? Does that happen? Because, yeah. I figured it was like, I figured there was something set up with the intro with the guy in the bodysuit and everything like that. So yeah. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Okay. See, here's the thing. TikTok wants to do longer videos, but when you start doing shenanigans like this, yeah, you're kind of opening yourself up. Okay. So whose arm is that? Let's take a look at this. Really?
Crazy? Mom. What? What happened? Nothing.
Ah. 14.7 thousand favorited. Oh my God. Okay. One for Steve. All right. Not sure what this is pertaining to, but let's see. One for Steve. I'm assuming for Steve Saylor. Let's see. So ghost caught on camera at WrestleMania. This one's for you, Steve Saylor. Here we go.
Ghost caught on camera at WrestleMania.
Oh. 100% legit. 100% legit. That did happen, everybody. That did happen. Totally legit. Okay, so if you're curious as to what the ghost caught on camera WrestleMania was, let me indulge you in some of the history. Let me see if I can find the clip here. So I'll go ahead and build this up. All right. So for those fans of the WWE and WrestleMania, and this is why this is totally legit. The Undertaker, I believe, was killed off, or the actor who was the performer who was playing the Undertaker, the wrestler, the Undertaker. Basically, he retired. He said, "I can't do this anymore. I just cannot do it anymore." Right. So he retired. Now, this guy, Cody Rhodes, they had been building up the Cody Rhodes storyline about him becoming the next big WWE champ. And then The Rock said, I'm coming back in to do WWE stuff. I'm coming back to my roots. And the fans actually spoke out. And again, this has nothing to do with the paranormal, but this is still fun to talk about. But the fans spoke out and they said, wait a minute, we've been following Cody's storyline. Nothing against The Rock, but we want to see the storyline with Cody come to a conclusion. So they pivoted. They pivoted with The Rock, and then they pivoted again. And at this point in the evening, Cody is on his last leg, and The Rock has been beating him with the belt, and he is basically egging on Cody, right? And in the middle of this egging on, this happens. And the reason why everybody goes completely apeshit at this moment, that bell, and if you really want to see a beautiful, I'll show it in a second. But when you hear that bell, that was always the sign that the Undertaker was about to show up. But he hasn't wrestled in years. They basically killed off his character, and WrestleMania has moved on. But that happens. So let me just go ahead and back that up, because it's pretty damn epic. I mean, it's part of the charm of WWE. It is soap opera for dudes, but man, when they do something, they go all in. So we got this. They are absolutely killing it. And then, of course, when the lights go down, then the lights came back up. And when the lights came back up, he was gone. When the lights came up, he was gone. So yes, they did. Whoever they were, yes, they did catch a ghost live at WrestleMania. Now, you think that the reaction from the audience was wild. Let me see if I can find that moment in Steve's stream.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
What? Rock, stop swearing! We need to stop bleeping you!
Here we go.
Oh, it's Taker! Fuck! Yes! Oh, snap! It's the Undertaker! I knew it! The bell was a sign! The bell was a sign!
I mean, the audience is going bananas. Steve Saylor in Canada, however, he's having a small child, in my opinion, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yes! This is so
Rock just
honest.
like he's seen a ghost.
This is
That's right, he did. The dead man. Oh! Yes! Yes! Undertaker's back in.
So anyway, yeah, that's what was going on at WrestleMania. The ghost was in fact the Undertaker, as confirmed by Steve Saylor. And if a blind man sees a ghost, you know shit's getting real. Okay, everybody. On that note, I think we're gonna stop there. We're gonna stop there because where do you go after Steve Saylor? I mean, come on. So I have something different planned for the second half of the Grim Gazette. And I'm just going to have to ask that you all put your faith in me and you trust me on what we're going to do, because I have a reason behind it. And I will go on ahead and I will explain said reason when I get back, because I need to give the little guy his pumpkin. I need to rehydrate, and we're going to get into the second half of the Grim Gazette. Maybe a short episode, maybe a short issue for the Grim Gazette, but there's a method behind the madness. All right. On that note, everybody, I will see you all in a few. So if you haven't taken your meds, please take your meds. If you haven't stretched, please stretch. Go on ahead and hydrate or dihydrate, and take care of yourselves. Shouldn't be but a tiny break. But when we get back, part 2 of issue 11 of the Grim Gazette. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in a bit.